Three, two, welcome to the iRacers Lounge. I'm your host, Mike Ellis. iRacers Lounge is a podcast for the iRacer, where we talk all things iRacing in a casual setting. Joining me are the usual characters, Greg Hectus, Kansas, Brad Rent,
Just put out an APB on Mike's pedal.
still waiting, David Hall,
I won't repeat what I said on the pre-show.
and William Westbrook.
Hello, everybody.
On today's show, we get you up to speed on the latest patch, dive into a bunch of forum discussions, see if mixed virtual reality is a good option. Can a haptic cushion provide useful feedback? Get more Sim Gaming Expo updates, see who the Fast Five are in Indy, and find out which streamer is regretting his choice of word.
That's right, Mike. And remember that you can follow along with us on your PC or your mobile device in real time as you listen to the show and see for yourself all of the great topics and products we'll discuss by visiting iRacersLounge.com and selecting the show notes. Hope to see you there.
Let's open up the show talking about a refresh from Barber with a post from Casey Carrington asking for it. He mentions it's one of the most gorgeous tracks, but it still looks like an NR 2003 mod.
There's a few of them like this, right, that really need to get the 2025 touches, as they say.
Well, I mean, now that they got the IndyCar series back, I would anticipate there may be an update for Barber. But prior to them getting Indy back, I don't see where there would have been a need for it.
It's not on a lot of schedules, in other words, right?
No, it's not. I mean, it's an enjoyable track. It's tricky, but I mean, it doesn't look that bad. But when you start comparing it to some of the newer stuff, yeah, it does need a refresh.
Well, that's the thing. I want to look at it from a Greg Hill executive producer perspective. I mean, as he has customers go from one track to another, you want a consistency. You don't want it to feel like, oh, this one feels old and this one feels newer.
But I mean, where is it at on the list? I mean, there's other tracks that I think have had actual physical changes to them, whether it be layout, repaves, that I would probably push ahead of this, in line for an update.
Well, they got the NASCAR 2025 game. They got to update all the NASCAR tracks, so you got to understand that's probably the top of the list, priority-wise.
Well, I'm just thinking like Mid-Ohio. I mean, Mid-Ohio has redone asphalt, and they've changed actually some of the corners. So I think that's one that definitely needs an update.
Are they only talking about updates because they were there this week? Like, the only time that someone's racing on it is Indy, really. There isn't very much.
So in the forum post comments, Iki Anderson goes on and says, Barber, Mid-Ohio, Bathurst, Suzuka, Brands Hatch, Bolton Park, Suzuka, Lamar, Laguna Arca, that's what he said, Sonoma. The list goes on. So many trucks that are in desperate need of an art update.
Well, Laguna isn't that out of date, I don't think. It's recently rescanned.
That's been repaved probably since then, though.
Yeah, I don't think it... I think Laguna Seca is one of the older tracks on the sim.
Yeah, but we're not on the oldest version of it.
Well, they got staff. They're working on these games. They got a lot of people doing art, and so this is specific to art. I mean, to do a Barber refresh, they would probably have to go out, right, and scan it again, or do photographs at least.
All right. Well, the next item is a post from former guest of the show, Garrett Maines. And what we have is an X post with a video of him driving, I can't tell you what series, but pulling a good crossover move on a road course. And his post says, MX5 Cup prepared me for this moment.
Yeah, and it's got a foot cam too, showing really some fancy footwork. Where he's doing a little bit of heel toe and using the clutch to shift and all that. Pretty neat to see him in action, especially when I've raced against him several times, and he does have that alien like speed.
Yeah, it's actually at he's racing at Summit Point.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, speaking of refreshes, do you recognize that course compared to the iRacing one?
No, that's one that I don't think has probably ever been touched.
Probably not. I mean, it's original free content, right? But yeah, that's quite a change.
Yeah, if I had
Not really the track itself, but around surrounding.
Yeah, but I mean, if I hadn't looked down at the comments, I couldn't have told you what track it was.
Holy cow! Until you guys said that, I had no idea what track this was. That there's a burn on the right. It's like a tire wall. I don't think that's there in the iRacing version.
No, all we've got is like the big mounds of dirt in places.
A lot of trees look like they've been moved. I mean, speaking, has anybody seen recent pictures from Road America either? Too. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff in the infield there. So, I mean, as much as iRacing can keep scanning, tracks are just keep changing. So, update as much as you can, but you're always going to be behind.
All right, the next post we have a drop in on the iRacing forums from a dentist, maybe. Brad looks utterly confused.
No, it's an older post. I think the post is actually from 2023. Yeah,
Yeah, June 7th, 2023.
Yeah,
I'm not logged in to the forums.
Yeah, Wyatt Foster. This is him.
Dennis is in reference to the LMP3. In case you forgot the reference, that it's known as the dentist car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, when you said the word dentist, everyone was like, "What? What's he?"
Well, tell us about the post, though.
It's an older post, but I guess it looks like it kind of got brought back up to the top. Some questioning, trying to get some comments from the original poster after, I guess, the tire update that we had on the LMP. Well, I guess we haven't had the LMP3 tire update, have we? LMP2s did, but not LMP3s yet. Guess I
didn't realize it was an old post. It's funny when they bring these posts back from the dead, but that's what happened here. No, I when I put this on the script, I thought that this was a recent post from an actual LMP3 driver giving his feedback on the car, but it's actually from more than a year ago.
2 years ago, almost.
I mean, it was. It just might not be current information. He goes through and he says, iRacing nailed a lot of stuff, but what they didn't is some of the downshifting and the sounds you get from the real car, and then the tire model. And I mean, that's obviously where everybody goes with iRacing, to the tire model. Maybe when V10 comes out, we can get him an answer.
What he mentions about the tire model specifically is the cold tires and how hard the car is out of pit lane. Note, he posted this in 23 before they made the change that they did with LMP2 and the GTP. I don't know if this change has been made to the LMP3 or not. But it's definitely a lot more deadly now to drive than it was in 2023 when on the cold tires.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to have his reassessment now on that tire, what he thinks about the cold tire thing. But anyway, I guess what I like is when we get a real life driver giving that feedback. Like last week, it was Daniel Morad saying this, and that about what he thought was wrong. And, if I was iRacing, I'd be just swallowing that up like gold.
All right, this next one's a pretty quick hit, posted by Kevin Bobbitt. On May 3rd and 2nd, there was an error with their subscription auto renewal system, and it double charged some people. And they're working to get all of them refunded as quickly as possible. They say it only affected a small number of members who are on auto renewal, specifically on those dates. So cool that they're putting the notice out, and it'll get fixed. I wonder if they'll pay interest. I want my 20 cents on that $8.
Now you're starting to sound like a regular iRacing member.
As a business owner, I would ask myself, well, how does this happen? How does a payment system designed to take a somehow double payment? You'd think there'd be safeguards.
It's completely automated. I mean, it just stuff like that happens.
Have you ever had accidentally submitted a Google form twice, or if there's a little hiccup and the system just tries to send it, thinks it didn't get sent, but it does get sent, and but the system goes ahead and tries again anyway. So it can be things like that. All right, explain your title in this next one, Brad. Careful what you say.
Yes, we've got a just a quick video here from OC Sim Racing, and apparently he had made a claim that he made a video about this, whatever this gaming rig is. It looks like a scorpion or something holding up monitors, but said if he hit 10,000 likes, he would buy it. Well, he said that most of his videos don't get anywhere near that number of likes. So, what do you think ended up happening?
He got enough likes, and now he's looking at a $3,400 rig with $440 delivery because he said something on a video. Now he basically put this video out, kind of, what do you call it? Put your tail on, between your legs and run away. He basically said, "Am I really going to spend this kind of money just because I said something on a video like months ago?" And he kind of was like, "No, I'm not going to do that."
I guess you're saying that purchase would really sting.
So, Brad, this was 6 months ago. Did he ever pay up?
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything on his channel. I do follow. I subscribe to his channel. I haven't seen anything from it, but I don't know what the thing is. I don't remember him ever reviewing it, but can't imagine that thing in a house. That's just god awful looking.
Yeah, looks pretty gimmicky.
All right, got another quick hit. Weather issue during Indy 500 qualifying. They found out that the dynamic sky was still functioning during qualifying, so they had to reset the qualifying results and to make the most fair competition environment. And they've now set the entire series to use static weather in sky. I guess that means the weather is not going to change during the race either.
Well, what it means is that was late Monday night when they put that out. So that means everyone who qualified on Monday after it opened, those times got thrown out.
Yeah,
but more importantly, does it mean we're stuck with static weather for each 500? I mean, I can't run any of them anyway.
I think it's just with qualifying. My guess is they would still operate the same way with the splits. Each split would have the same weather.
I think I was confused about this a few weeks ago when we were talking about, well, what was the weather change for qualifying? And I walked away from that confused too. But
well, because qualifying times are used for all splits, I think they wanted all the weather the same, which makes sense. But Greg's post in the forums is not very clear because it says they reset the weather for the entire series. So, like David says, is that going to carry into the race too? Not really sure what he meant.
All right, so we have a post now showing the top 5 qualifiers for the fixed Indy 500. Is this automatically updating, or is this just when you took this, Brad?
It's just
that was from yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a post on X from iRacing with the top 5 listed, saying if you want to be the fastest in qualifying, you're going to have to beat some of these guys. So, fastest lap is Peter Berryman, 39.577.
5.8 and a 5.9 and a 5.9 and a 5.9. So you got to be right there within the 50.57, 0.58, 0.59. Amazing. And Peter Berryman, that name rings a bell. He's been here before. I think he's even won it. If I remember right. But he's a top split IndyCar 500 guy.
So continuing along Indy 500 updates, there is a patch and they reverted to some previous radiator settings. It was an unintended automation, and they are not in the position that they want to reset the qualifying tables again. So they're just going to leave the setup in, which is a couple of hundredths faster, which gives everyone the opportunity to go in and set additional times with it. So I guess this patch was actually after they reset the tables, but if you qualified before the patch, you were on a slower setup. So they're telling everybody to go qualify again.
What a mess.
It is a mess. I mean, if you look at this as a whole, this whole week, with the Monday times being dropped because of the problem, and then they have this where they have the setup changing or whatever, which goes a little bit faster. It's not fair to those folks who only can qualify early in the week, or whatever. They qualify on Monday and they thought they're done. They don't watch the forums. They have no idea that any of this has happened. Is it fair? It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, don't want to just completely cancel the whole thing to make it more fair, right? A little unfair is probably sometimes just what you got to deal with. Is this next topic related, William?
No, it's a different problem. Also, they had another problem. They're having a rough week. So the forum post says, so far at Atlanta this week, when not catching the pace car, the pits remain closed, and once the leader has caught the pace car, it opens for a split second and then closes right away. So I guess that's gonna give a lot of people inverted black flags if they weren't expecting that. Who replied? Michael Hinkle with iRacing replied later, they know it's a bug and they're working on it.
And they fix the issue for lucky dogs at the same time? Because at any time you have those really early pit road entrances, the lucky dog never gets to pit.
Well,
Phoenix.
I mean, we complained about this all through Atlanta, with them going to these quickie yellows that it just caused so many issues. I mean, now here it is May. This post was from February, and I mean, that's when we started complaining about it. So, and I don't.
The lucky dog issue was a problem even before the quickie yellows because it would start making the lucky dog let everybody by, even with the full length cautions that we used to have, or with the 3 laps.
Yeah, but they changed Atlanta. The change was the pit entrance commitment cone was put on the backstretch, and you have to enter there. While before you just dropped off the track right onto pit road.
Yeah, that changes to mirror real life, but yeah.
I mean, again, it's the bigger issue here is it's all the problems with the scoring and the race control that they supposedly have been working on. But I mean, these are problems that have been there since the very beginning. I mean, these aren't new problems. They've always been the same problems for years and years and years and years.
Like this one, been broken since the papyrus days, right?
Yep, had a guy. Essentially, this happens all the time, and you almost have to retrain yourself during restarts to not avoid accidents. Because if you pass on the inside when the leader spins himself out, you get black flagged.
Yep, I mean, that was like that way in all the Pappy games. I mean, there's some of these things that honestly should be fixed by now. It's laughable. I mean, the issues on oval is bad. I mean, I can't. I mean, we talk continually about multi-class starts are a disaster. I mean, it's just these are simple things that if you're going to mimic real life racing, you need to get the race control correct.
So Raymond Chapman, this is a little bit different, David. This one is their double file restart, NASCAR style. He's starting P2. They go to start. The leader spins himself off on the initial start. And the guy in second, who's in a completely different lane, he gets a black flag for, passing him before the start finish line. So, is it second place's fault that the guy on the inside doesn't even get to the finish line, to the start? That shouldn't be a black flag. That's another little quirk that they got to fix.
Definitely. All right, this next one I declare fake news, Brad. I don't believe it. There's no such thing as no respect for the slower classes. This is
Well,
lies.
yeah, so we got a forum post here from Greg Tactus. So I guess he says he finished first in class in an IMSA multi-class, and the results are, shall we say, not what they should say. Of course, being in the GT3, couldn't keep up with the LMP3s. He said, I doubt I'll ever be able to get them. So apparently, I guess he used AI to, I guess, maybe write a article or something about this.
No, this shows up in the UI, Brad. This is
Oh, it
something
does?
that comes up. Yeah. And he's just saying, look, I won the race. I'm a winner here. And this thing is talking to me like I'm finished 27th.
Oh, okay. So I don't do any AI racing. So if you do an AI race, it finishes and you actually get like the old news bulletins like we used to get in the Pappy days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But see, it's not smart enough for multi-class racing. They got some work to do there. Okay. So maybe that's a title idea. They got some work to do.
Absolutely. Got it.
All right, next, Will, we got some talk about being rain ready.
Yeah, so Garrett McGee put a X post up of a real life Mazda race. It shows him. He says, took advantage of the wet start to make up some spots. The wet line and techniques we use in iRacing, wet weather proved very useful today here at Indy Barber GP weekend. And it's a video of him starting, looks like mid-pack in the Mazda and making up a ton of spots. And he credits iRacing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was another post. I don't know where I saw it, but him and his teammate were like literally practicing at the track on iRacing, purposely trying out the wet lines and working on that. So they were like intimately aware of where to place their car. Great training idea. His visibility is pretty bad, isn't it?
I think this was the first race of the weekend, but yeah, they started on a damp track, and I think it was raining bits and pieces, different areas of the track. But yeah, quite a few of them went off, and then you see the guys that obviously had an idea what to do, were managed to stay on and actually gain positions.
Why, oh my God, look at Osama, what a move, Osama.
That was playing, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
It was.
I'm on a whole setup. I'll try to remember to go edit that out. I'm on a whole setup right now.
Oh no! Don't edit it out. Yeah, don't.
No, please leave it.
Okay.
Please
Well,
leave
now
it.
you know what's going on. I was watching the next video.
So next,
Is that next? Yeah.
it
Well,
is. Yeah.
David was trying to figure out how is this iRacing related, and I don't know actually. Brad?
What? This actually is iRacing, is it not? It's 87 cars.
Yeah, it
is. It's my car.
Yeah, so the Instagram post threw me off first because I just saw the picture of the truck there, but once you click on it, it goes to a video of Hocevar running I guess moon car in the 87s, and it's the last few laps, and he's making up spots and getting some help, and finally takes the win, and then just he wins moon car, so he loses his mind basically and has a good time.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm muting my laptop.
Once I hit play, obviously, I had to hit play to realize what I'm watching here. But I liked his rig. I mean, he's got a GTR rig, and look at the flex on that seat. That seat just wobbling back and forth, back and forth. And then he's got like a G 920 or a G27 Logitech or something. It's clamped down to a table. Pretty basic setup for a NASCAR superstar,
Very Tyler Majeski isk.
It works, and and so you could see some of the moves he was pulling in the moon car. He actually was dirt tracking that car through one of these corners at Talladega and was able to save it. So he obviously has some chops.
All right, so there was a patch released. I guess this week. I haven't been home, so
Yeah.
I haven't gotten the notice. I need to remote in and update. Uh, we got some fixes to the anti-cheat where it will install and repair it even if it thinks it's already been installed. Race control? What's this? The connection black flag system has been updated and slightly increased. You know, weren't we in a race, Mike, where somebody got parked for that? The last race I was in before I left?
Yeah, they got put on pit road, actually.
Yeah.
There was some kind of message up at the top that such and such put to pit road. Or
Was that NIS A Open? What was it?
Yes, it was NIS, I believe.
Because they
I
had
think it was.
I mean, when I had looked when they first released that, when you look on the rules on the series, it said whether or not it was in place, and I didn't see really any series that actually had it in place.
I suspect they've been silently kicking it in some places because it was NIS, wasn't it, Mike? It wasn't an A Open.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, like, I just went to NIS and under event rules, network quality rule checked enabled. So there you go.
So they listened to you, Brad. They started putting it in more places.
They did. That's good, and they increased the sensitivity. So hopefully, guys will get parked sooner. But look, I was on an A Open race Monday night, and literally we had a guy that was blinking the entire race, and I mean, like every 13 seconds he was disappearing. But I don't know. I guess maybe his packet loss wasn't bad enough.
I mean, it looks like they addressed some of those weird aero issues with damage that we talked about earlier.
Where it got master with damage.
Mm-hmm. Upshifting has been improved in the BMW, and then there's been some work on the speedway. They've trained Fred to avoid driving straight through the extended pit wall, so the pace car driver is not just driving straight through the pit wall. Fixed an issue where some fans were so loyal that they could float.
Mount Washington Road fixed an issue where the quote, "Are you afraid of the dark?" award was not being granted properly.
All right, so I'm pretty familiar with Road America, but I don't ever remember seeing a barn and a silo. Help me out, William.
It's there.
Where?
All right. I mean, I know the silo. I remember seeing,
Where?
but going down after turn 1, 2, 3. I think going down the hill. Maybe I'm completely not just making it up because we've got the notes here, but I'm pretty sure it's there.
Before or after the Sargento sign, the bridge.
After that.
After, or am I thinking? I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Turn 5 is the left-hander that then goes under the bridge into turn 6.
That's
right.
That's Corvette. That's the Corvette bridge. I don't know. I have to go to Road America try to go find this barn now.
Careful! I saw on Reddit where it has been broken for some people. It is that one change that's made it to where it won't load for them. A couple people on Reddit were complaining about it earlier.
Tough week for iRacing.
All right, so it is on the stretch of track between turn 13 and 14.
Turn 13 and 14. All right. Is that before the carousel?
Yeah, as you can see, we're not road
too
racers.
many
We
tough
don't know
questions, man.
Turn corners.
Dude, I'm a road racer, and I don't know the numbers on half these tracks.
I don't know the numbers.
Or their names either.
Yeah, I know most of the names, just not the numbers. I don't keep up with.
I know the names, I guess, more now because the crew chief will call them by their name, right? And a lot of them.
I mean, I've been on service a year and 4 months now, and I'm just now getting the names to most of the corners down.
Do you use crew chief?
I do, but I don't think I've. Yeah, he does call it out. He does. You're right.
It says it all
13
the
and
time where
14.
there's accidents.
Yeah, you're right. So 13 and 14 is the last corner.
Wow, I'm gonna have to go look for the barn in the silo because I swear I don't ever remember seeing those. Okay.
Okay,
Maybe they have it. I don't know.
when I looked at this next one, I was almost excited because I thought, man, that would be pretty interesting to have that many monitors. But it's actually just a little Lego model, isn't it?
I love Legos, but yeah, Podium One Racing put up a Instagram post of a little Lego kit of one of their little Podium One rigs, and they do offer a screen that's built like that, David. Actually, for sale, they're quite expensive, but it does come in pieces like that with vertical screens that you just place together. But yeah, pretty cool. They're asking like how many people are interested. I think they're going to actually buy a bunch of them and have them for sale.
So my guess is that these will probably be what, about $6,000?
At least.
Right? If they're coming from there, maybe. Do they come and install it for you and build it?
I mean, they would have to, right?
Well, see, that's their spiel at Podium
Yep.
One. They sell rigs to Joe Rogan,
So,
Snoop
would you
Dogg.
really buy a Lego rig and then have somebody come put it together in your house? That's the whole point is the fun of putting it together.
Is there a market for Legos of sim rigs? I think there is. I would probably buy. I don't know if I'd want. I don't want one that's specifically the Podium one. A more generic one with maybe flat triple screens would be more appealing for me. But I would be in the market. I'd dump $50-$60 on a little Lego kit.
All right, this next title is right up Mike's alley. Moza coaching. Well, okay, it's coaching, but when it says coming soon, I know you don't like to see those words.
Well, this makes me mad. They're still selling it, and they can't even deliver the one I bought 47 days ago.
But what we do have is an article or a post about Moza coaching coming in May.
Yeah, they got some kind of deal with TrackTitan.io where and I got offered this or some kind of trial of this, I think, when I bought the pedal, but I didn't partake. But yeah, this is on their Instagram. You can join the wait list. It's coming soon in May. And so it says 3 months of unlimited AI driving tips.
So it's a good thing that this isn't ongoing right now because your subscription would have run out before you ever got your pedal.
Right. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it, but I'm not gonna. Like you said, I'll wait. I'll wait till I get my pedal. But a good opportunity for people to try AI with iRacing, and so yeah, when it comes out, let's check it out. Yeah.
Has anybody out there tried Track Titan?
I have not.
I mean, I've got it downloaded, but I've never actually messed with it. If anybody else out there has, hit me up on Discord. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts.
All right. Well, the next question is which streamer will take the win? William, tell us about this next item.
Oh, Grand Pooh Bear is doing his second Twitch Rivals Challenge. So they're getting a bunch of streamers together, and they're gonna. I think last time they did teams. I don't know the full details this time. I actually heard him announce it on his stream earlier today. But yeah, the second one, a bunch of streamers are gonna get together. Trying to see if I can see what track they're doing.
I watched some of these people on this list. You got I recognize the name Casey Kerwin, Matt Malone, Sierra Races. She's so cute.
Samsoid.
Daniel Gray, Love 46, Kenny 500. A lot of the past All-Star people in here.
I don't see where it's going to happen at.
Let me go to his Discord and see if he's announced anything else.
It looks like they're going to run the BMW GTP car. I'm taking it. But it's
That's on
May.
the poster, but no telling.
Yeah, May 9th, 12 p.m. Pacific. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, 12 Pacific. Yeah, I'm not finding anything quickly on it.
David's gone. So let's move on to FIA F4 Global Esports Championship presented by Moza. Wow, they got Moza's sponsorship. Returns in October. We got an article from iRacing written by staff member Justin Malillo. There's a 35,000 prize pool this year. I believe it was 25 last year. And this is, of course, in conjunction with the FIA. And doubleheader events have been scheduled for October 25th, November 8th, November 22nd, and the finale December 6th. And track selection for each event is announced only 24 hours prior to the race, forcing drivers to adapt quickly to each course. They're also fixed setups.
Yeah, so it looks like they've had nearly 100,000 drivers have taken to the track in the F4s. So it's a lot of guys, a lot of people.
And the way you participate, this is open to everybody, is the FIA F4 Regional Tour Series. So you have the Americas, Asia Pacific. I ran in Asia Pacific just last night, or the day before. And I think there's a couple others, but to be in this championship, you have to race in the one that you live in. So I would have to race in the FIA F4 Regional Americas because I'm in America. Because you do have to present a passport or photo ID to show that you are indeed in the region that you represent if you make it to the top 10.
So didn't we discuss a few podcasts ago that the Japanese server had no Japanese people racing in it, or the Asian?
Yeah, but look, nobody was racing for anything before. These are just regular official open series to anybody. And so, like I said, I've been bouncing around just trying to get a start in each one of them. But now that they have this coming up in place, I think that'll force people to run the one they're supposed to be in. I think not force them, but encourage them to.
All right. Well, while we're talking activities, not activities, what I'm thinking of, events. That's the word I'm looking for. The Sim Gaming Expo is coming up September 5th through the 9th at the Schaumburg Renaissance Convention Center. Get your tickets with 10% off with the IRLP 10 discount code. And we have a few announcements for that, starting with Elliot Williams. Mike?
Yeah, they put on the Instagram special guest EW Sim Racing, who's Elliot Williams, the creative force behind his channel, known for his cinematic sim racing reels, immense voiceovers, and premium gear reviews. Elliot brings his deep passion for virtual motorsports to the Sim Gaming Expo.
And then we also have Ace Gaming as an exhibitor.
Yep. So Ace Gaming is based just outside of Chicago. They're a division of Ace Computers, specializing in high-performance gaming PCs. So what began with two passionate system engineers evolved into a powerhouse gaming division. So they will join forces with the GTR simulator and PXN game inside the massive 1,000-foot square booth. Attendees can check out their latest systems. So looks like they may be helping with some of the systems, I guess, for some of the stuff that'll be there.
Pretty cool. Can't wait to check out PXN and see what they're all about. Still hoping to see a lot more of these European sim manufacturers. We got, who do we have so far? Heiskenveld and I think SimLab was one of them. And who else? They need some more European manufacturers. Now, with the tariffs and all that stuff going on, you wonder if that's stopping those companies from making decisions about the, making plans to come to America, spend money, blah blah blah. So I don't know. Maybe with the way the tariffs are going now and things are looking brighter and better, perhaps those companies will step up and sign up.
So scrolling through Sim Gaming Expo website, Corsair, Gomez, Huskenfeld, Simucube, SimCraft, GTR Simulator, PXN, Ace Gaming, Raceware, Hyper. That's the looking just menu for hardware. Admin Box, Dark Fusion Systems. So yeah, I mean, fair amount.
SimiQ, that's pretty major.
Yep.
And SimCraft, that they have the motion rig, really nice motion rig. Can't wait to see those.
All right. Well, I guess it's starting up this weekend. We're having the fixed version of the Indy 500, right? I know we had the majors version just last weekend. Tom was posting his result from those. The start times, I don't think those are your standards. Like special event start times, right? So May 6th through 12th, we got Saturday at 1, at 13, at 17, and then Sunday at 13.
Yeah, so it looks like just four slots for fixed and open. Fixed will be this weekend, the 6th through the 12th, and then open is the following weekend, the 13th through the 19th. So just as we said, qualifying this week for fixed, and then qualifying next week should be for open.
Anything else going on, Brad?
Yeah, we've got the Prodigy Radical SR8 Cup is opening. 2 Prodigy passes are up for grabs. So this will be week 3 of 7. I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, but it'll be at Sebring. So that's pretty much the only thing outside of the normal stuff.
Podcast housekeeping. Leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform to make it easier for more listeners to find the podcast. Mention the podcast to your fellow drivers so they don't miss out. We would appreciate it. Check out our Discord. Get involved in the discussion. And, of course, our show notes are at iRacersLounge.com. Go check that out. It's kind of neat to look at it while we talk about it. And then Performance Motorsports Network. We're in regular rotation. Get your merchandise at iRacersLounge.shop. Fantasy.
Yeah, so the Cup Series rolled into Texas Motor Speedway this past weekend. So coming out of Texas, we had our top 5. Was with the win, Team Duan, 200 points. Mackenzie Stevens, 197. Fat Boy, 1990. iRace Too Slow was 4th, and Drake G36 was 5th. So Texas, 1.5 miles, kind of a odd shaped 1.5 miles. Turns 1 and 2, completely different than 3 and 4. But track put on an interesting race. All 3 series were there, and it was quite a yellow-filled weekend.
Yeah. It was what it was.
Yeah. I don't know. The races were good. They were good. I think the races were definitely more compelling than watching Talladega. That's for certain.
What do you want? Do you want them to be able to pass or have to run over each other? What you got was they had to run over each other.
What, for Talladega?
No, for Texas.
You could pass. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, Texas is not my favorite track. It's definitely better with this car. It was pretty miserable, with the previous car. That's why they were, if you remember, they put down the PJ1 and the traction compound and everything to try to fix it. And they reconfigured the track twice because of all the issues they had when they built it. Um, it's fine now. I don't want to see them taken. There was a rumor that they were going to maybe get the Atlanta treatment for this one, and I hope to gosh not. But it's not my favorite track. Did not have a great week here on the service last week, but it wasn't bad.
I mean, the track is just now aging where it might be good if we just let it sit, and it'll get better. Like I think Dale Jr. said that. Don't reconfigure this track.
No, and I think it's one of those. It's fine. It's got one date, which is fine. I'm happy to go here once a year.
It's also the mile and a halfs are the only thing that the next gen's any good at anyway. So
it is, and if you remember, I mean, at one point they had the mile and a halves had most of the series were mile and a halves. That's all they built for quite a few years, and the racing was horrible. I mean, the Gen 6 car that just wasn't very good. But it is definitely better, with the next gen car. So speaking of mile and a halves that are good, we've got Kansas this weekend. Probably one of the best tracks on the series right now. I think we had the closest finish in NASCAR history last spring. So it's been good on the sim side, and I expect that the race this weekend will be just as good. So coming out of Texas overall, we've got TG1 Racing has taken the lead. Boats and Hose is in second. Mud Dog and Mike Wuju tied for third. And then shout out to Tifosi member Tyler Williamson. Fat Boy 1990 has moved up into fifth place. So congrats, Tyler.
all right, our first hardware item is a review of the Pimax Crystal Super. And it opens up with a post from forum rookie David S. Gray saying that he was about to pull the trigger on the Lite, which is the cheaper version, but this dropped into his inbox. And so, should I have buyer's remorse, Brad?
I don't know. So we had this on the script last week, David, and you're the only person here that can talk intelligently about VR. So that's why we left it for you.
Okay, well, let's bump it to next week, and I'll actually go watch it when I have a little more time.
Well, look, you have a crystal, right?
I have a Crystal Light. Yeah.
So what's the big difference
Not
between
the
the
Super.
two? What's the big difference?
Money and specs. I couldn't tell you the exact numbers right now. The Super is going to be a little bit heavier. It's going to have more. It's going to have a bigger screen. It's going to be wider.
So your FOV is better in the Super?
Possibly, but you just don't. You don't miss. You have enough FOV. You have more FOV than you would have if you were wearing a helmet, and you can turn your head to look. So it's you don't notice the fact that you're not looking out to the right with triples, seeing things that you wouldn't see in a real stock car anyway.
So, I've listened to some other shows and they talked about VR. They talk, I guess, like 109, 110 degrees of FOV. Any idea what the one you have is? Is it around there?
That sounds about right. It's wider than what I had on the Reverb, and it's a better picture by far. There's a lot of nice features on the Lite. I actually like the fact that I can just reach up and do like this, and I can see my surroundings. It puts it automatically back into see-through mode, which is really handy. Like, say I need to switch wheels, or I can't find where my water bottle is, or I can even actually. It's pretty out of focus, but I can see it well enough to skip tracks on my phone if I want to even. So there's a lot of nice features. I'm sure the Super is just going to have higher resolution, probably a bigger wide field of view.
Okay.
I'll watch it for next week and have a little short update on the differences.
All right, cool. We'll leave it on the script and we will revisit it next week.
And then next up, we have another item that might take you 60 days to receive?
Nope. First, we got the Sim Racing Secret Weapon, which is the $250 haptic pad pro and haptic feedback pad pro or something like that. I don't. Anyway, it's from Advanced or Next Level Racing, and it's like a seat cover kind of thing. You lay in your seat, and then it has a wire that you plug into, USB, and it's got little haptic pads built into it. It's very effective because it's right against you. Okay. I think the drawback that the Sim Pit put in their review video is it's kind of like sitting on a seat cover, and it's kind of gets you closer to the wheel because it's in between you and the seat, so it physically moves you closer up and closer to the wheel too. So a couple drawbacks, but it is, I guess, what he would call a poor man's way to get haptics.
Or you can adjust for the fact that it raises you up by moving your seat back down.
Brad, I guess I wanted to ask you, $250 for this compared to what you spent on your little project. Is it worth that extra money to do it the way you did it versus this?
I think so. I mean, with haptics on the seat and then on all four corners, there's definitely I think a little more feedback that I get from those. The I don't know. I mean, I watched John Cole with this, and I guess it's got six haptics, and I'm trying to envision what am I going to gain by feeling something up in my back, my lower back, and then my butt, as opposed to being able to feel the right front or the right side of the rig vibrate versus the left, or even to where you can feel, the vibrations start with the left front and then come to the left rear. I don't know. For me, just it would be a comfort thing. This thing is like, I think he measures like 19 inches wide. I think. I mean, if
It looks thick too.
if you've got I've got an NRG seat. It wouldn't even fit in here, I don't think. Plus, again, I don't know. It looks hot. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. It's just, I can't imagine me feeling something in my upper back and my middle, my lower back is going to give me much feedback to what the car is doing, if that makes sense.
And this is V2. I mean, there was a V1 of this, and he talks about, this one's better in a few different ways. I mean, they do have some kind of troughs, I would call them, in the back of that thing to try to get some airflow in there. But again, it's still, like you said, it still looks like it would be hot.
Yeah, I mean, a long race, even with a fan blowing on me and it's sitting in an NRG seat, I get sweaty. I mean, it gets hot, on my back, and I can't imagine putting another layer, in that. I mean, it would create even more heat. And like you said, I mean, yeah, it's, David, you said you could adjust your seat, but if you're somebody who has a stationary seat, 2 inches, that's huge. You being moved 2 inches up or 2 inches closer to your rig, honestly, do the FOV calculator. It changes your FOV.
You heard it from Brad first.
So, to me, if William said, Mike, I got $250 and I want to do something with it, and he was looking at this or a Butt Kicker Pro, I tell him to get the Butt Kicker Pro and bolt that to the bottom of your seat.
And I've actually recently, Joe has even talked about selling his G seat, which is kind of going to get some of the similar effects to this, if not even on a higher level, because it's supposed to simulate the G forces of acceleration / braking. And he doesn't feel too excited about it anymore. So I think a lot of your concerns are legit, Brad.
Yeah, he talked about a comfort problem with that. Long races.
All right, now we can actually talk about the Moza wheel. And it's just a short little clip. It's actually a pretty neat looking little Lamborghini mock-up wheel. Makes me almost think of what you might see on some turboprop planes back in the day. It almost looks like an aviator type formula wheel instead of just a formula wheel.
310 millimeter. That caught my attention. I'm like, ooh, I kind of like that.
Yeah, we've discussed this one before. We talked about it probably a month or so ago. It got decent reviews. I think the biggest concern we had with this one was the while yes, it's 310, it was the shape of the wheel and how, I guess, how deep it was, and that was some of the concerns.
Concave dish.
Yeah, whoever reviewed it said, I mean, literally had to adjust his base because of how deep it was and how much closer it was to him.
Yeah, that rings a bell now.
I mean, it's cool, but it's very car specific. So I guess would be my concern. I mean, unless you're just a complete Lambo fanatic, then you're probably okay.
Well, we have enough pre-made wheels. Is this an actual DIY build we're looking at next?
Yeah, so Kodai Racing, Kodai, Kodai Racing. They have new release. We have a TCR3 do-it-yourself button plate. Been a while in development, but excited to finally share this project. Paired with a wheel rim of your choice, the TCR3 button box has you covered for GT, Formula, Rally, or anything in between. Got 44 LEDs, 46 button inputs with both shifter and clutch support. Check out the files and premium parts available at their website, codayracing.com. So apparently you go there and you get the files for 3D printing, some parts, and it's truly a do-it-yourself.
This is just for the centerpiece?
Yeah, just the button plate.
Right, and then you just get a Momo wheel or, bolt it on.
Yeah,
what wheels does it go with? Can it be anything that it can mount on?
Well, but when you go to the website, they show it on a butterfly wheel, a formula style wheel, a oval wheel, so it can go on anything.
You have to get the rims from them as well, or can it be attached to any rim you have?
No, any rim would work. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So this is basically a build your own button centerpiece box kind of hub type thing.
Yep, kind of.
$7 for the project files, or £7, I should say.
It's about $10, isn't it? Would you like to have something like this in the middle of your oval rim? Just to have a whole bunch of additional options?
If you only had one, yes.
So
Now there's a video at the bottom here, David, that shows him building it. And so, when I kind of take a peek at this, this isn't something I could do.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, William, you've got a 3D printer. Is this something that you think you would tackle?
So when I saw this on the script, it kind of sent me down a little rabbit hole because I've been Matt Ballone's been showing off his Mazda MPI wheel rim that he has, and I've obviously been looking for an oval for me, and I was like, man, I kind of want to look at something to do that. So I looked at the one we had last week, I can never say it right, Pokeyama, Pokeyama. Yeah, I never get that one right, but because they do kind of some similar things than these guys, and I started looking at the price because you can buy like the pre-machined parts as well instead of 3D printing them. I was like, man, by the time I pay for all the parts and import fees and all that, I could probably just bought a pre-made one, right? And then I went and looked for Turn Racing because they used to do a bunch of button plates. Apparently, they have shut down. So then I went to Asher and found some sticker shock there. So I came back here and started watching the video. Yeah, I don't know. I'm seriously considering it, Brad. We'll see. If I do, I'll certainly document it and bring it for the podcast episode.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So, yeah, I mean, you can there's some pre-made stuff out there that you can get, but again, it just depends on what you want. And I have never done anything with 3D printing. I think it's super cool. I have thought about maybe getting one, but then I know it'll just send me down a rabbit hole that I probably don't want to go down.
Right.
But yeah, it is. But it's the other side of this. I mean, when you see guys, it's like the guys that do their own button boxes, and soldering and everything like that. When it comes to electronics, man, I'm out. There's two things I don't mess with: electricity and water. That's just
Yes. Yeah,
I don't do it.
we've got a guy in grassroots who does a lot of the custom stuff. He does a lot of the lighting. He has got a lighting setup very similar to you and me, except he's taken it more than we have. I will share a video in the chat with you guys of his rig because he's documented, some changes he's made recently. It's really cool what you can do if you have just a little bit of a skill in those areas, which I don't currently. I might try to teach myself.
Oh, cool. Look forward to that.
I don't. I did a sim, a wind sim once. Do-it-yourself wind sim, and there was a little bit of soldering to be done, and my eyes aren't good enough. I even bought a big old magnifying glass to put in front of my eyes, and I still couldn't get it done, and I had to rely on my friend Kyle Pendygraph to actually do my soldering for me and then ship it to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like house stuff. I mean, I know my own limitations. I will do a lot of stuff that I'm okay to do, but when it comes to certain things, I'm just going to pay somebody to come do it.
Well, Brad, would you pay somebody for these custom Sim Magic pedal plates?
Yeah, so I've got an Instagram post here from Gray's Dynamics. So he says he's got my new Sim Magic P1000 plates. Check them out in his web store. They're not bad looking. Very similar to the remind me of the HSR. It's the ones out of Australia that make them for a bunch of stuff that look fantastic. Would love to have a pair, have some for my Huskenfelds, but I'm not paying. I'm not paying half of what I paid for the pedals just to get pedal plates. But now these look cool. I like the wide brake pedal. I'm sure that would help. I have a bad tendency I never center my left foot on my brake pedal. I'm always to the left. I don't know why. I have to constantly remind myself to move it over. So that to me would be beneficial. So no, they don't look bad at all.
Are the Huskenfelds mounted separately, like each pedal is its own piece?
They are, and I've got them shifted to the left to try to get the brake as close to being, in a straight shot from my left leg. But I just have a bad habit of letting my left foot just drift to the left. I don't know why.
I like these pedal faces. The fact that he's got his logo on them, which looks pretty slick. The throttle is a smooth metal, while the brake is like a textured metal. For grip, I presume. But yeah, they kind of make it look premium. Got that customized look.
All right, Mike, it looks like Dev Cam's got a video out reviewing a SimLab formula wheel.
It's a good bit of kit, as they say in the UK. The SimLab formula wheel, that's a Mercedes replica from Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. Dave got his hands on it. I mean, he didn't have anything to say bad about it except the price, really. And at the end, would he buy it? No, because he doesn't have that kind of money. But look, if you have the kind of money, and he said, like, who is this for? Well, the guy that has the sim rig that you already have everything you need, this could be the cherry on top.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd go good on a Denny Hamlin rig.
Well, I mean, he hits on, it's perfect. I mean, if you want a replica of the actual wheel, it's perfect. But when it comes to sim racing, there's things that it's missing. The buttons are not backlit. One of the biggest things he says is there's no 7-way funky switch, and us sim racers love 7-way funky switches. I mean, we've talked before that most of your real wheels, they're not as complex as ours are, because one, you're going 190 miles an hour and you're trying to make an adjustment, but there's things that we have to do in the game and while we're driving that a driver normally doesn't have to do. I don't have to set my pit stop up. If I'm driving real life, I have a crew that's going to decide, okay, we're changing 2 tires, we're going to take wedge, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Now I've got to do all that on my own. So there's things that we have to do. But at the end of the day, for me, it's like the the GTD Mustang wheel that we looked at, or the Porsche wheel that's $2,500. That's way too much money.
I like the Porsche wheel over this one easily because of the bright colors, Brad. I'm I got ADHD. I'm attracted to that. It's like this wheel looks pretty bland. I was just thinking if you had two sim rigs next to each other, you had this wheel on one, you had the Gomez wheel on the other. To the average person who would walk up to it, they would be attracted to the Gomez wheel. Why? Because of all the bright colors and lights.
Yep.
And unless you really have to have the exact replica, you need that 7-way switch
Well, it's certainly
more than
handy.
anything. I mean, yes, I have on my Formula wheel. There's a lot of buttons, and I hit it. I have a lot of them programmed to do different things because I drive some pretty complicated cars. So you do some of that stuff while you're racing, but on top of that, yeah, you also have to make adjustments to the pit stops and such. So I would definitely not want a rim that didn't have that 7-way feature.
And it doesn't have that third set of paddles, David. That's so nice.
Yeah, the third
Yeah.
pedals are nice, but the second set is the real critical set. If you don't have that second set, don't spend the money.
Well,
There's the third set's kind of nice. It's not been. I haven't needed that set as much since the GTP came out because we can't manually control when the GTP boosts.
Well, just remember this is modeled after what Lewis Hamilton drove last year. So you got the rocker, it's got the rocker bar basically for your upshift, downshift, but then it just has the single clutch is what he has on the back. So that's what you got. You got a rocker bar for shifting gears, and you got the one large clutch. That's it.
So he doesn't use a dual clutch bite point when he launches.
Nope.
So he's only pulling it on one hand.
Yep.
All right, this is one I probably should have watched, Brad. Shouldn't I have?
Yes, you should have. That's why I put it in the script.
Mixed reality and iRacing tutorial.
This is crazy. So this video from OC Racing basically gives a visual of what would it be like if we had a good mixed reality headset where you can see the button box in front of you, you can see your cell phone, you can see real things around you, but you also can see the sim in the VR at the same time.
Yeah, it's neat the way that he set it up to where he could see his rim, see his wheel and see his hands and everything, but it sees everything else. So it's, to me, I guess the confusion thing could be that I'm looking at a digital steering wheel, digital hands, but if it doesn't line up with me, to me, it would almost trick my head a little bit. But this way, it's like a nice combination of you got the rim, you got the rig around you, in the VR, but then you're actually looking down and you're seeing your button box and you're seeing
You're seeing your hands.
Yeah, your hands. To me, that's cool. And I had no idea. I mean, the way he describes this, it has to do however it works. If something is lit up, it's seen. So I don't know. Just was really cool. Again, I've said before the VR stuff. I don't think I can do it. I suffer from vertigo, and my understanding is that it would probably drive me bonkers and make me sick as can be. But I think if I had to do it, I still want to be able to see my stuff. That's my whole thing. I want to be. I spent a lot of money on my stuff. I want to see my stuff.
Yeah, see, I could care less, but in the VR, if you've got your body positioned correctly within the camera settings and you've got the field of view correct, then the wheel is really in the same place where you expect it to be. So you don't get a sense of being disembodied. You leave the wheel on and you actually leave the driver on so you can see its arms, and your brain just goes ahead and starts to connect the two, and so you almost see yourself as the cartoon character inside the car.
So he shows some software here because this is a tutorial video. David, I don't know what the software is, but he's messing with a feature called VR pass-through, they call it.
I'm seeing a section around minute 2 where he's actually getting the VR off centered. Like, so it probably is a feature where you get the VR lined up with basically he's moving the alignment essentially. So he's moving the where the wheel should be to make sure that the virtual wheel is lined up with his real wheel because they're kind of both showing up at the same time.
Yeah, that's what he does. He gets it lined up, and then he goes and then turns then goes back in and turns the wheel off in the game so that now he sees his wheel in his hands.
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, if that's how it can work, I'm a little bit more open to it, like Brad said, than I was before.
I'm just particularly fond of the VR as well because of how well it works both in racing and flying. Because yeah, you really do look around a lot when flying, and you have to see the whole cockpit and everything. So I don't know how much of an advantage mixed reality would be for flying unless you're actually sitting in a cockpit with all the gauges.
All right, results, NASCAR iRacing Series. Let's talk Texas. Friday Open. I got a P5. Started in the back, worked my way forward methodically. We had a green flag stop, and then the yellow came out. I was lucky dog though. Got to pit for tires and come around to restart 10th. Worked my way as high as 3rd, but ended up finishing P5. Great run. Justin got a P15 in top split. Bobby Jonas P7. Brad P13.
Yeah, just a sloppy race from the get go. Got caught up in just way too much stuff. I ended up with 14X. I really can't think of the last time I had 14X on an oval outside of a super speedway. I mean, had some good racing, but just I mean, one incident racing two guys, and 3 of us we're real tight, and the guy hit of me ends up getting underneath the guy hit of him. He gets loose, hits the guy hit of him. He's broadside the track in front of me. I can't stay off of him. I mean, it's just a frustrating week at Texas. I mean, both races just kind of got caught up in stuff. I mean, I did turn a guy in the first one, but yeah, just sloppiness.
And then John Curley P8. Really happy with this. I ran the first 105 laps in the back to save tires and avoid carnage. Ran around P20 to P23 most of the race. It worked. Pitted on lap 106 for the last time. We had 3 green-white checker runs. I was worried about the last restart since guys behind had fresher tires. No problem, though. I just drove hard and actually pulled away from them because they were too wide fighting it out. Just about back to 2.1 KIR. Sunday Open, I got a P15. Came for 22nd up to run in the top 10, but eventually got involved in an accident where a guy got loose in front of me, put me in the wall, and 3.5 minutes of damage. So I just rode it home from there, P15. Tony Rochette, P25. Texas sucks, the drivers suck. I should start 1,000 ways to be wrecked in iRacing. I was caught, that's a title idea, was caught in with a spinner just out of 4, which sent me into the pit. The finish put me 2 laps down, even though I was on the lead lap. Kyle Pendergraft, P8. Started P22, just ran my race saving tires. Got caught up in an early wreck, but wasn't hurt too bad. Fixed the damage and came out ready to work my way up to the front. Did a full fuel run to take the lead for 9 laps and pitted, coming out P13, and just drove my way up to P8. Sunday fixed, DNF. Ouch. I had a good run going. Got up to around top 10 from the back, but I was on the outside of a 3 wide, and the middle guy couldn't hold it. Came up into me, and I got destroyed. Too much damage. We are done. Kyle Pendergraft, P23, started 6th. Just kept it up in the top 10 during a long green flag run. Made it 54 laps green, and then I started blinking, and I was booted. Came back in 5 laps down and got a wave around to right around 4 laps down. Brought it home P23. It sucks having a good car and knowing how to drive the track with this car. that have to be laps down and just can't compete with those lead lap cars. There's something going on with the blinking and dropping. We've had it on our team in the last 2 weeks more than we've had in the last year.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. My connection's been good, so knock on wood. Like I said, I think last week I did make an adjustment, some changes to my router per Bobby Jonas, and I've been good since.
Let's move on to Kansas Wednesday Open. I got a P4. I started 15th, worked my way up to run top 10-ish. Kyle and I were as high as first and third, with Kyle being first. I got to second at one point, but towards the end, I was around third to fifth, and I really couldn't get more than that. I'll take a nice top 5 with a P4. Kyle, who was in my race, P10, started P6 and just had a rocket ship the whole race. Kept it clean, and coming down towards the end, I took the lead for 10 laps and just set sail. Until 2 lappers with fresh tires decided to race in front of me, and I tried to work around them and wore out my tires. Fell back after nearly self-spinning out of 4, saved by a caution, and walked her home to a P10. Brad, wrecked out.
Yeah, 3 laps. That's all I made it. So started mid-pack, I think 15th or so, 16th, something like that. Making progress towards the front, and leaders ended up wrecking. I slowed down, but guy behind me didn't. He just punted me right into the wreck. Nothing I could do. Took a tow, had over 9 minutes of repairs. I wasn't sitting there for that, so I don't know. I don't know why NIS is so much worse than A Open when it comes to racing. It's just the more A Opens I run, the more I dislike NIS.
There's 10 less people. 25 versus 35.
That can't be it. It just I don't get it. I just don't understand it.
Right. I ran Thursday Open P15, had a good run going. I got up to top 5, was running third to fourth. I actually got hit by a guy who's lost it. I couldn't miss it. Got sent to the back with damage. Never really could recover from that. There was a guy in the race who had beef from getting wrecked or whatever with another guy on the radio, and he would not stop all race long. He was cussing, causing trouble. He did. At one point, he delayed the green two delays in a row on the same caution. Cussing out people, causing beef with the leader. I mean, at the end of the race, I was like, who all is, cutting a clip at the end of this to send in? And at least 3 or 4 people said, oh yeah, I'm definitely sending a video in.
There's just no need for that stuff, man. I mean, that's what makes it just unenjoyable at times.
Moving on, William, Draft Master.
Yeah, I had 30 minutes to waste before the podcast, so I saw Draft Master was hitting off and got on there. Usual chaos, but the top 8 cars kind of pulled away. We were running either single file or 4x4, and we had a good time until with about 3 to go, some lap cars got involved and side drafted and split the group up. It was going to be a good finish before then, but P4 anyway. I just kind of wanted to ride around, probably about 80% throttle, keeping it on the bottom, because while I know I'm not trying to grind SR in Draft Master, I didn't want to lose it to have to make it up later. So it was fun.
It's like Russian roulette.
Yep.
That's why I don't mess with it.
You didn't blow your head off this time, right?
I did not.
A Open, Brad, P6 and P8.
Yeah, I ran 2 races before the NIS race. Both of them really good races. A lot of hard but clean racing at the front. And race 2, I actually took the lead with about 12 laps to go and was pulling away from the pack. And I'm watching it. I'm like 10th quicker, 10th and a half quicker, 2/10 quicker. I'm like, dang, on it. Prior to winning at Martinsville, my last oval win had been Kansas, and that was in 2016. So I was like, I'm going to get a win at Kansas. This is fantastic. Oh, no. Get a yellow, comes out with 7 to go. 30-some lap tires. I'm like, all right, well, I got to pit. Everybody, if I don't pit, everybody else is going to go in, and I'm going to be a sitting duck. So the leaders, everybody who's up front pits and come back out. 4 guys stayed out. And needless to say, 30 lap tires. Restart was an absolute mess. Everybody bottled up. The guy in front of me didn't go. I get off. I had to, jump out of the throttle. The guy behind me just plows into me, and I ended up just having to back out to avoid getting wrecked. And just very frustrating to go from having the lead, checker, really just 7 laps away from getting a win to finish in 8th. So just a very frustrating into 2 really good races. Kansas is fantastic. It's enjoyable if you get with the right group of guys that can race clean and race you hard. And I'm fine with hard racing as long as it's clean.
All right, Kyle Pennygraph, P3, started P11. Used this race to get a feel for the setup and how to run the race to get a good result. Learned enough to save tires and just trust that they would be better on the long run. The Open, Kyle got a P16, started 22nd, coming to the green flag, and P24 decided to jump. The race start trying to squeeze between me and the wall at the line, and then blamed me because I didn't leave him a lane and brought out the caution right away. I had to fix damage and went 6 laps down, gained 1 lap back on a waiver. Sounds like a protest there. All right, we got the Preventa Endurance 12-hour Spa, William, P21.
Yeah, so this race made me want to quit for a minute. Preventa Endurance, 12-hour, we did Spa, me and 3 guys from Grassroots. We're running 5th in hour 11 coming into the bus stop. I had to slow going through that turn. I'm awful with names, as I said earlier. But the turn before the bus stop, to not try to pass a GT4 right in the middle of it, just being safe. Coming into the bus stop side by side with the GT4, and the leader, overall leader, decides he can't wait, tries to send it 3 wide with me and the GT4 in the bus stop. Obviously, there's not enough room. He hits me in the rear, sends me flying over the curbs and into the pit wall. 8 minutes of damage. Of course, because it wasn't intentional, protest was not upheld. Did it anyway just to make me feel better. But yeah, that's put me off endurance racing for a while. It's one of my favorite things to do, but I'm going to chill on any races longer than 6 hours for a minute because that was an awful end to a Saturday.
Ouch. IndyCar iRacing Series.
Sorry, we've got. I'm just going to mention we've got the Majors 24 coming up, and to Brad's elation, they've announced that there's going to be some rain involved.
Yeah, it's like 24
Rain the entire 24 hours is what Tom said.
Stupid.
Yeah, put that in the chat. They said because it didn't rain last year, they're going to make it monsoon the entire 24 hours this year. So yeah, good luck with that, guys.
All right, moving to IndyCar iRacing Series, Tom Dreiling. P11 was my best. Love the combo of Barber and the IndyCar. I just need to be faster. Indy Road next week. All right, Grassroots MX5, P6. Grassroots, William,
my
P6.
I was typing. All right. Indianapolis Road. Not much to say here other than the cars will blast at this track. My first laps were in qualifying. Started 7th, finished 6th. Pretty good race. Nothing extraordinary happened, but it was fun.
And then GT3 League.
Yeah, so Grassroots League. I know a lot of people don't like Indy Road. I actually really like the track. It's a lot of fun, but getting into the practice last night and then the night before, I was struggling a whole lot more than I thought I would. Was really struggling on pace, but once I got into the race, settled down, qualified 8th. Missed an unfortunate wreck between 2 of the leaders in lap 1. Ran 6th for a long time behind 4 and 5. Just I was faster than them. I just could never make the pass. And then halfway through the race, P5 tapped P4 in the rear, and you know how iRacing will make you spin around when that happens. Got caught up in that, no damage, but I got taken off track and lost 2 spots. Was able to make them up and finished P3.
And then Tom Dreiling is a beast. He ran the Majors Indy 500. Top Split International started 31st. Took my time to get to the front, save fuel. Was able to jump some people at the end to get a couple spots. P27. Top Split European started 22nd. Was able to get to the front. Then I had a major brain fart on green flag stops. Fell a few laps down. P9. Second Split American. Dang, what would I give for about a half a gallon of fuel? After the last caution, I tried my best to save as much as I could. Just fell 2 laps short, and because of the slowing down so much, I fell out of the lead. In the course of 18 hours, I was able to run 592 out of 600 laps at Indy. Looking forward to the next majors race, Le Mans 2.4 hour on June 1st, to warm up for the 24 hour on June 21st. Okay, my adventure was old IndyCar at Pocono. The leader clipped the apron on turn 1, lap 1, and the entire field piled up. Yet they did. This was hosted. Yet they didn't throw a caution, so I parked it. It was stupid. We were all 3 seconds apart from each other, running around for 20 minutes. So wasn't a fan of that. Then I moved on to my series challenge, which is challenge.duncanwatts.com, and took on the Volkswagen Beetle Light at Phoenix Rallycross. Got a nice P5. Then moved on to hosted Indy wrecked out lap 1, turn 1. Then it was an open wheel battle, Formula One cars versus Indy cars at Bathurst. I was in the Mercedes W12. I think I got wrecked out of that one too. Then I moved back to the series challenge. We got the M2 at Olton Park. I got a P6. And then the F4 at Oran Park, winner, chicken dinner. But there were only 3 people in the event, so it didn't actually count. I did try it again later, spun twice, but still finished P3 out of a field of 6. So I did get my official finish and podium for that international F4 event. Then finally, the Z-Max Tour Cars late model stock at North Wilkesboro. Man, I was worried about my I rating, but I qualified 6 out of 15 and finished P4. Actually gained 21 I rating there. All right, final thoughts, Brad Wren.
Just hoping to get a better start tomorrow night at Kansas. Really frustrated to only run 3 laps and get destroyed. So, yeah, then we get an off week, as for NIS. But yeah, just kind of in the grind of NIS. I haven't done much road racing. I'm really just trying to focus on the oval. We were talking last night in the beginning of NIS about where we were as far as high points of I rating, and before last night I got back up to I got about 3360 something, and dropped back down quite a bit. But looking, I guess back in 16 I'd gotten up to 3600 and something. So the quest for 4K is on. So I'm just going to kind of focus a little bit more on the oval side. I'm definitely getting more enjoyment out of the oval side right now than I am the road. So I'm just going to kind of focus on that.
Yeah, and then shout out to Justin Pearson, running P2 in Division 2 points. He's within striking distance of the leader, but he did check up on the leader stats. He's a 4.5K right now. So Justin is not quite at that level. So he's got some work to do. All right, David Hall, final thought.
Obviously, you didn't hear much from me on the results section. I ran a few times at Monza, had one good finish in the rain, and then the others I did good while we were in the wet. And then when I switched to the dry tires, while it was still a little wet, I failed to complete the races based on the cold tires. But you had no choice but to switch to the dry tires. In that, but I liked that particular setup because we had the rain, but you had the transition. So I think they should aim for that more, especially in the sprint series where it's going to be going from wet to dry or from dry to wet. And I hope they do that with the majors 24 instead of going wet the whole time as well. But yeah, I'm out of town getting to play Mahler Symphony 1. I don't know if that will mean much to many people, but that's kind of a bucket list opportunity to get to play that symphony. It's one of the greatest works ever written, and I'm getting to play principal clarinet on it. So Not getting to race much, but so I'm actually on vacation, even though I didn't get to wreck anybody on purpose.
Ooh, okay. Greg Hectus, final thought.
I've been away from the service a lot. I've missed the last 2 weeks of racing for the NIS series. I was trying to do it on the weekend and stuff came up, but I did run Saturday night with Tom in an IndyCar race at Barber. I had to eventually quit because I was exhausted from a long day's worth of work, and I didn't make it through the race. I made a mental mistake on the second pit stop and sped on pit road, and 40-second penalty. Just I didn't feel like going back into the race after doing it, but I've been looking into some possibilities of switching my my base on my setup here, and I've been looking into some Moses stuff here recently, but we'll see if I do some upgrades in the next couple months here.
All right, and then William Westbrook, final thought.
Yeah, so what distracted me in results was I was looking at some more of that Pokerini stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've got a 3D printer, but if I was going to make something like that, I think I would want at least the front and back plate to be machined. And you can actually buy those pre-made, but I've just put up the link in the chat. Some guy recently did that, and it looks like for about $180 worth of stuff, he's going to get charged $240 worth of import fees. So I think my unless I can get lucky on Facebook Marketplace, which in my area is not likely, I think my oval wheel dreams are dead for the moment.
Ooh. Trump strikes again. Title idea. Okay, my final thoughts. I wonder if Trump's tariffs are affecting me not getting my active brake from Moza. Like, are they waiting to ship it to me because they have to pay 145% tariff, or are they waiting till Trump and China negotiated a better deal and then they're going to ship it to me? Or how long is it going to be before I get a refund? I don't really want to go down that road, and I'm trying to be patient, but I am having second thoughts. I saw a video about that semi-cube active pedal, and I put it in the Discord, and I'm like, somebody found a semi-cube active pedal for sale on Facebook Marketplace at a discount, and I'm just like, look, if they refunded me, would I buy one of those semi-cube active pedals? I probably would. I can swing it financially, but I probably would do it. But yeah, so I'm just in limbo. And with that, we'll see you on the track later. All right, title ideas. We have 3.
Can you read them out to me? I don't have the results.
One is they have work to do. 2 is 1,000 ways to get wrecked in iRacing. 3, tariffs strike again.
2.
Oh.